Bulls Nation, today we had a game against the Boston Celtics off of a back-to-back as well, our second game of a back-to-back, and we really had an incredible game here. One of the better games of the season, and again, it's coming at a very important time for people that still believe we have a shot in that play-in tournament. So there goes a very strong performance, and hopefully one that can continue to come out throughout the entirety of the season. But let's talk about the Boston Celtics and the Chicago Bulls game reaction in this video. Let's do it. What's going on, everybody? It's the Aidan Sports Show, and welcome back to another video. Today, we've got a Chicago Bulls versus Boston Celtics game reaction. The Chicago Bulls off of a back-to-back, the second game of this back-to-back. And ladies and gentlemen, we have won 2 in a row with that back-to-back, beating the Boston Celtics once again. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Aidan Sports Show YouTube channel. Turn notifications on. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls, the performance today, and if this gives us a chance to make the play-in tournament. Now, again, I will tell you everything that I have to say about this game and my I guess, prediction of the play-in tournament. All of that will come. But overall, this game was very good to watch. And before I go into anything further, I have to say, this is the first game for the Chicago Bulls with fans in the arena this year. And it sucks that it came so late, but better late than never. There was around 4,000 Chicago Bulls fans in the arena tonight. And at the end of the day, I'm not from Chicago. I can happily say that I'm a Chicago Bulls fan. I feel part of the Chicago Bulls community in many ways. But it is so important to have fans back in the arena. And to be honest, 4,000, 1,000, 50 people, it is so important to have Bulls fans in the arena. We are one of the most loyal sports communities in the world, and especially in America as well. And we want our fans to be in the arena. And I'm so hopeful that next season we can have a fully packed out United Center once again. And that is going to be very important for us going forward. And again, this team would thrive off of a very good United Center, very good fan support. And we are very excited about our team, even though we might not be making the play-in tournament. We might make the play-in tournament, who knows. And next season we'll have some changes. I think this is probably the most optimistic for next season I've been. And again, this season's not even over yet. So it's very important to have fans in the arena. Also, if you notice, this video is coming up very late. I want to apologize to that. Again, personal reasons. I'm not going to go into that. But again, I sincerely apologize for making this much later than what you guys probably expected it to be. But going into the Boston game now, the score for this game was 121-99. The Chicago Bulls, at the end of the day, had a pretty bad scare in the fourth quarter with Boston coming back, and you just thought, my goodness, it's going to be one of those games. Once again, the Boston Celtics are going to come back. They're going to take over in the fourth quarter, and once again, we're going to show that we could collapse. I'm going to come on here and rage and all of these things. But thankfully, the Bulls held on and actually pushed the tempo and got, in the end, a very convincing win over the Boston Celtics. Now, this is the last time we will face Boston Celtics. We have won the season series 2-1. I'm very stunned that we actually won this series against the Boston Celtics. And again, in terms of talking about the Boston Celtics, in terms of their play, I do have to say a few things. First things first, with Boston Celtics, unfortunately, this entire season, and again, I've watched some Boston games, probably more. I've watched more Boston games than any other team around the NBA, except for the Chicago Bulls. The one thing about the Boston Celtics is they've not had a consistent starting five all season. Someone seems to be out every now and then, whether it's Kemba Walker, whether it's even a player like Tristan Thompson. Obviously, Daniel Tice got traded, and today it was Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown did not play for the Boston Celtics, and of course, that's an all-star. That's a big, probably their best player, to be honest, in my opinion at least. I think he's vital towards their team. But in the end, the Chicago Bulls capitalized on the Boston Celtics' weakened state with a player like Jaylen Brown not playing, and we picked up a very important victory here. And again, with the Boston Celtics, for me, the difference between us and them was the bench. I think our bench really stood out when, unfortunately, the Boston Celtics bench did not really step up to the levels that our bench was at. And I think that was the key in the game because, again, Kemba Walker had a terrific game. Evan Fournier played well. Obviously, Jason Tatum struggled, and that was very big as well. But at the end of the day, I think the key difference was our bench production was superior to theirs, and we got a pretty important victory. And not to mention, our best players went off. Kobe White, a very phenomenal scorer, went off. Zach LaVine, second game back. Again, a back-to-back. I'm surprised he played 33 minutes. Again, he surprises me all the time, Zach LaVine. He had a good game today. Nikola Vucevic, first triple-double for the team, I believe. He went off today. And then you had the bench production as well. Overall, this was a pretty convincing win for the Chicago Bulls. And many could say this is very important. Now, with this victory, we've won 2 in a row. Where do I stand on the play-in tournament? Well, at the moment, we are 28 wins and the 10th seeded is 31. So there are 3 games in there for the Chicago Bulls. And again, we don't have many games to go. One of those games will be against the Toronto Raptors. So it's going to be very interesting. And something we do need to look out for now is the 9th seeded Indiana Pacers as well, which the Washington Wizards have caught up to. So in the end, the Indiana Pacers is definitely a team that could potentially fall as well. So is it out of the question? It's not out of the question. Do I still think we're going to do it? I just don't think. I think we've left it too late. Again, I've always said for a while now, I believe we will be in the 11th seed. I think that's where we're going to stay. I think we will outplay the Raptors to get the 11th seed. I just don't see us catching up to the Wizards, who have been incredible over the past few weeks. And maybe the Pacers can drop, but overall, I don't think we're going to catch up. But again, we have important games coming up. It's not out of the question. The Bulls should not give up on this season, and we shall see how things ride out. Maybe luck does go our way. Maybe something does happen and the Pacers fall or the Wizards fall. But in the end, I just don't believe we have enough. But we shall wait and see. In the end, only time's going to tell, and we're going to be leaving it up to fate. But let's go into the individual performance for today's game. We're going to start things off with Daniel Theis. Again, his second game against the Boston Celtics this season. He had 9 points and 8 rebounds. Again, very crucial component to the game today. And he played very, very well. 29 minutes played. He did his thing out there. He's not the guy that get the stats, the 28 points and 15 rebounds like you see probably from Nikola Vucevic from time to time. But he's very crucial towards this team. And again, I really think this is the time where we need to keep pushing and pushing and pushing Daniel Theis to commit to the Chicago Bulls, because I think that will be very good in the long run. Nikola Vucevic with his first triple-double, I believe, for the Chicago Bulls. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. And if I am wrong, it's a triple-double, and it's a great game. 18 points, 10 assists, and 14 rebounds. With Nikola Vucevic, again, when we have so many scoring options, there's going to be one person or one player that doesn't necessarily have to do everything on the court. And in the end, we saw that with Zach LaVine and Kobe White as well. They played very well together, all 3 of them. The trio for the Chicago Bulls is in today's game. Played very, very well. So I'm extremely happy. And again, a triple-double for Nikola Vucevic. That's the game. That's a good game. That's a beautiful game. And again, he's a dominating center. Offensively, he is an absolute monster. And again, he's playing very, very well. And we missed him. We really missed him. Those last 2 games that he was out was probably the worst Chicago Bulls games I've seen all season. Scoring-wise, probably even a little bit on the defensive end as well. But I'm very happy that he's back. I'm very happy that he's having games like this again. I still think he has another level for us. I can't wait to see what this team can do next season with a little bit more playing time under their belt, with a little bit more time to gel together, train together, work together. This team can be dangerous. I still believe this team can be something. But maybe we won't see it this season. Maybe we will see it next season. But I am very optimistic. I'm very optimistic with Nikola Vucevic in our side. Zach LaVine, 25 points, 2 assists, and 4 rebounds. Or 5 rebounds, my apologies. Zach LaVine, crucial component to the game as well. This is his second game back from injury or from an 11-game NBA protocol suspension, whatever you want to call it. It shouldn't have been 11 games regardless. But the fact of the matter is, Zach LaVine in his second game had a much better game than his last game. And again, I said in the last game, that fourth quarter brought me great optimism that we would be seeing a better Zach LaVine sooner than later. And again, a back-to-back. The next game, Zach LaVine was firing on all cylinders, making great shots. And he attacked the paint as well a little bit. When I saw Zach LaVine in the last game, my biggest critique from him that I probably didn't even mention, he didn't attack the paint at all. Zach LaVine is one of the best slashing guards in the NBA, and he didn't use that to his effect. In today's game, I saw a very good up and under dunk, which was, hey, it's a good highlight play. And overall, he attacked the paint, and Boston could not stop it. And again, I think Boston are undersized. Tristan Thompson, I don't really think they have another center that's really a 7-footer. Maybe Luke Cornett, but I'm not sure if Luke Cornett didn't really get that much playing time, to be honest. Only played 10 minutes. So we had the advantage there. They also played Taco Fall in the third quarter today as well. I think they understood that they had to stop the paint production, but I just think by the time that happened, it was too little too late. Kobe White, 25 points, 5 assists, 7 rebounds. The best thing about Kobe White's game today, and something I don't often check, the plus-minus. He had the second best plus-minus on the team, which was very, very good. And again, he was scoring at a very high clip today, efficiency as well. His 5 assists was good. He only had 2 turnovers today as well. He played 33 minutes and he crashed the boards. Very, very, very good game from Kobe White. And I'm extremely happy with his performance as well today. Again, he's stepping up. And this is the thing here. Those three, Zach LaVine, Kobe White, Nikola Vucevic, at the end of the day, these are the starters for the Chicago Bulls, and I think this is going to be the starters for the remainder of the season. I don't think we're going to change it. When these three play the way that they're playing today, when Kobe White is an effective scorer and he ends up scoring at will while he's playmaking as well, that's the biggest part as well for me, the playmaking. When Zach LaVine has a typical Zach LaVine game, again, when Zach LaVine is scoring and he's doing his thing, consistency out of Zach LaVine. With Nikola Vucevic, we are a very talented offensive team, and I still believe we are. And I still believe we will be in the future. And that is good to see. So maybe when there are more reinforcements coming in for the Chicago Bulls, if we do make some free agency signings, or we ended up going into the draft and selecting a draft pick, or anything that we decide to do to get some reinforcements into this team, if we just see the best versions of these players, even if Kobe White's on the bench, that is going to be a big plus for this team. So I'm really looking forward to how things go in the future. Again, these three players have made me very optimistic about next season. And Kobe White is really stepping up when it matters the most. He's had an incredible, in my opinion, 3 weeks. A bit of a bad games, but majority of them have been solid games. So I'm very happy with Kobe White's production. Garrett Temple, 4 points and 6 rebounds. I wouldn't usually mention Garrett Temple for a game like this, but his plus-minus was through the roof, and he had the highest plus-minus on the team, which means that every single time he was on the court, he ended up helping this team score more, and he ended up also boosting our defense. So again, there's a reason why Garrett Temple plays, and that is the reason, the glue guy. He might not be the guy to get 10 points every single game, but he definitely feels... For me, he's the hardest worker on the team, which is incredible for a 34-year-old, and he does his thing, and he does it well. And the last 2 players, Thaddeus Young, 9 points, 1 assist, 3 rebounds. I don't really have too much to say about Thaddeus Young. An okay game from him, I guess. Larry Markkinen, 8 points and 2 rebounds. I don't think Larry Markkinen had a great game, and I'll get into that later. But overall, he didn't play that much. So that could be a sign of weakness as well. 8 points in 14 minutes is not bad at all. And yeah, and this is... That's the team. Patrick Williams had 7 points. Of course, Thomas Satoransky had 4 points. Javonte Green had 3 points. I believe Devin Dotson had 4 points as well, and he barely played. That's the roster for the Chicago Bulls. Very solid night, if I do say so myself. And I'm not going to pick a must improve. But when I talked about Larry Markkinen, I don't think his scoring was terrific today. I think he only made 1 3. But again... For me, when a team wins by this much and we perform the way that we did offensively and we held them to 99 points and we held their best player to only 9 points and our bench was better than theirs as well, this was just an all-around great game for the Chicago Bulls. And at the end of the day, that's all I could really say. So to give a must improve in this type of situation, unless there was someone that really stood out, there's no need to do it, and I'm not going to do it. I think everybody played their part in a way, and the Bulls did what they were supposed to do. The player of the game is Nikola Vucevic. Again, a triple-double from our all-star center. And again, we need to play more around Nikola Vucevic. Zach LaVine is a terrific player. Zach LaVine, I think, will have more all-star games to come. But when we play in the post and we play around Nikola Vucevic, good things happen on the offense. And again, this allows Zach LaVine to be free. This allows Zach LaVine to play his game. And ultimately, if they can figure out a way to play through both of them without just hogging the ball entirely, because I don't just like pick and pops every possession from those two. But if we can find a way to play through both of them in individual ways as well as together, this team could be a very good team offensively. And now it's time to add some defensive presence, and I would say a little bit more scoring around Nikola Vucevic, a little bit more three-point shooting around Nikola Vucevic, and we've got a really good team on our hands here. The Bulls' record is 28-39. 11 games away from 500. That's definitely gone and out the window. With no chance we're getting 500. We don't have enough games. But we are 3 games away from the play-in tournament. And I just think in the end, we might have enough. I don't think we have enough. I think we'll remain 11th. I've been saying that for a long time now. How many games do we have? We've got... Sorry, just let me check this. We've got the Brooklyn Nets, I believe the Toronto Raptors, the Brooklyn Nets, and the Milwaukee Bucks. 4 games? I mean, it's borderline impossible, is it? We're 3 games away. You're hoping that either the Wizards or the Pacers lose all of their games and we win all of ours. Very, very, very unlikely. But I still think 11th is where we'll sit. The next game is against the Detroit Pistons. This is, of course, a must-win game. If we have any sort of chance of survival, we have to win this game against the Detroit Pistons. So... once again, if the Bulls want this bad enough, they're going to have to do something that I haven't seen them do all season. That's beat good teams consistently, and that's also not slip up against some bad teams. We can't have no trap games. This game is just as important as any game throughout the season. We need to treat this team as a top team, even though Detroit are sitting, I believe, second last in the East or last in the East. So... that's going to be very important for the Chicago Bulls. And if we can find a way to win that game, and hopefully the luck goes in our favor, you see the Wizards lose and the Pacers lose, there could be a glimmer of hope. But in the end, we shall wait and see how that goes. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. Have a wonderful day, Bulls Nation. Hopefully you enjoyed this win. And at least if we don't make the play-in tournament, this is what I've asked for from the Chicago Bulls. I want us to go out on our sword. I want us to go out fighting every game. And we had players out and we had injuries. We have all of these things that ended up conflicting with our end of the season progress. But at the end of the day, if we're going to go out, if we're going to fall out of the play-in tournament, if we're going to miss the playoffs, I want this team to fight. I don't want a tanking process. I don't want to see this team tank for a top 4 draft pick. I don't want to see that. So in the end, we shall wait and see how that goes. We shall wait and see if the Bulls are going to fight till the end. But again, 2 games off the bounce, back to back. I can't ask for much more. Thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful day. Take care and peace.